Radio Rahim.
Radio Rahim here with Andre Berto,
Radio Rahim.
the Beast.
Yeah.
You know, Andre, a lot of times in news, what people read is the headline.
That's it.
And the headline on you was tested positive for PEDs, performance-enhancing drugs. Now, there's a long story that comes after that a lot of people don't know. People that I talked to were surprised that you were even getting a fight. So let's just take the boxing audience that may not be familiar with how this whole thing came out and what happened. Talk to me about the process and how we got to where we are now.
Radio Rahim, you know how this media aspect goes, man. And like I say, the positive test came out. You know, everybody was surprised. My whole team was surprised. I was surprised. I didn't know what it was. Nobody knew what it was. You know, so we just put the team on it, and just pretty much they just went back to the samples and really tested the samples, and you know, just to really get behind it and see what it was. And it was a contamination of something, they don't know what, but no enhancement drugs whatsoever, no testosterone, EPO, you know, all the other stuff these crazy people are taking, none of that. And it was just a process of just the way that they brought it out was just kind of, you know, unnecessary without, you know, finding out what it was first, and to bring it out to the public that way. So, you know, it just gave people a chance to just take it and run with it for whatever they thought it was. You know, but like I said, you know, we stayed calm, we stayed positive because we know we didn't do anything wrong. We went through the right steps to, you know, go through the commissions, and we brought lawyers, doctors, everybody in, and just basically just continue just testing these samples and just to find out exactly what it was. And, you know, went through the right steps with the commission. They tested me in and out again right after that, and they said that we didn't do anything wrong at all, and it was just a ridiculous situation, and they just reinstated me. You know, that's pretty much.
So at this point, you've been completely exonerated. There's no cloud of suspicion anymore.
No, not at all.
So that cost you money,
Yeah, it did.
time, and reputation.
Definitely.
At the time, we were just a few days, a week or so away from the rematch, what a lot of people considered to be the fight of the year.
Definitely.
When that press was being done, you were so focused, you seemed so passionate, so ready to avenge that loss. What was it like realizing that fight wasn't going to happen, and were you able to stay focused on your career? Were you in the gym? What was that after moment like?
You know, it was a devastating situation for me because, just like I said, I mean, you know, everybody that knows me and knows my family, you know, we pride ourselves off hard work. That's it. You know, so it was a situation that happened that it was devastating for us. You know, I went to like a real dark place of just not understanding why. You know, and you know, I went through, you know, very you know, like a depressing stage, waiting for, you know what I mean, just having to, you know, be quiet and just wait for the team to put everything in order to clear everything up. So, yeah, I mean, like, the only thing I could do is just, you know, spend time with the family and stay in the gym, and that's it. You know, I just stayed in the gym and just to make sure everything was going to be on point on our end, because I know that we didn't do anything wrong. I knew everything was going to get cleared up soon.
And last question on, you know, just getting us up to speed. You're now with Golden Boy. Mm-hmm. Now, when something like that happens, a lot of people say you find out who your friends are. How did this affect your business relationship with DeBella? How are you end up at Golden Boy now?
Me and Lou DeBella, you know, we're still good friends, and then, I love the team. You know, they did you know, great things in my career. I mean, they've been with me my whole career, and they had me on a tremendous track. You know, just things that just you know, just happens from time to time. I mean, and like I said, you know, I'm, you know, like Al Heyman is my manager, and he just basically, you know, puts everything in, you know, a line for him, and I pretty much just go to work wherever it's at. But, you know, but no bad things to say about DeBella at all. You know, he's been great. And him, the whole team, Joe, Meredith, everybody, you know, I love them guys to death, and they were still real.
We wonder if the rematch with Ortiz would have been still most likely a more anticipated fight, even than Guerrero. Why is it Guerrero and not Ortiz?
I mean, last thing I heard, Ortiz is still trying to get his face fixed a little bit. And I'm not sure. I mean, like I said, I don't even think he's cleared yet. I'm not sure. I don't know his situation. But like I said, I just want to come back in, and just have a real good fight and fight for another world title. Is
that a fight that you need? Is that redemption that would be able to, calm some demons?
Yeah, but at the same time, like I said, I'm just looking forward to continue putting on these performances. I believe everybody, who's seen that fight, it was extremely exciting. But I believe people that know me, they can see I wasn't at my best that night. But even though the fight was exciting, but like I said, we'll see what happens. I still love to have that fight. But like I said, we're gonna see what happens. You have a lot of other things. Like ahead of me right now, Ortiz, I don't know his situation. I don't know what he's going through, so I'm not sure.
Turning our attention to the challenge ahead, Robert Guerrero, he's just won the interim title. He's at 147 after...
What does that mean? Does he have the title or not?
I was going to ask you that because it doesn't say it's a world title fight. So that might be a question for Schaefer, which I will ask.
Yeah.
So we were wondering if this is a title fight, but whether it is or not, it is a title for rep. It is. There's a
I need that belt.
Right. Well, that's interesting. If it weren't a title fight, if that belt weren't on the line, does that disappoint you? Do you feel like, you deserve a shot at that?
Yeah, I think right now at this point, man, everybody just wants to see me back. That's it. I mean, like I said, this whole time I've been off, we've been getting, ridiculously, just overwhelmed with just support and love that people just want to see me back in the ring, So, right now it just doesn't matter at all. I just want to see me back.
Guerrero's up 2 weight divisions. You're coming back after a long layoff. You still had to rehab the arm.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me about the advantages that you feel you have in the ring against a Guerrero who is, been active. He's in the ring. He's having success. Why do you think that you can win this fight?
I mean, just being me. I mean, I believe I have the speed advantage, I have the power advantage, and just a lot of different areas. I just think I'm just all around just better fighter.
Now that interim belt that he holds, Mayweather holds the title. Mm-hmm. So if you were to win this fight, are you open to a fight against Floyd Mayweather?
Like I said, right now all the focus is on the 24th. Everything after that is wide open.
And last question, man. It's only 6 weeks away, this fight. 5 weeks. So that's even a shorter amount of time. And with all that you've been through, you talked about the dark place. Have you been in the gym up until now? And how are you training to make sure that you don't re-injure that arm and that you're ready to go in 5 weeks?
Nah, man, I'm going to be good. Like I said, the arm was good, months ago. Like when I was getting ready for Ortiz, so I'm good. I'm already been sparring, hard sparring. Everything's good. So
on this comeback fight, are you looking to knock out Guerrero? Is that something that you're focused on, and do you feel like you can do it?
Yeah. I mean, I believe I can knock out anybody at 147. I'm just looking forward to coming there and winning.
You looking to make that kind of statement?
Hey, if it happens, it happens.
The Beast.
Appreciate it.
Radio Rahim with Andre Berto.